which provides a final resting place for the heroes who have defended our country since the Civil War. This amphitheater, this place for speeches, is more central to the cemetery than at first might seem apparent. For all we can ever do for our heroes is remember them and remember what they did, and memories are transmitted through words.
Well, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, and it is Wednesday, November the 11th. And as you know, today is Veterans Day. You know, I grew up in the UK, and in fact, I was born the year that World War II ended. And so ever since I can remember, you know, from my earliest age, in Britain there we lived with the impact of the World War. I know you did too, but in London it was a little different. In London, everywhere you looked, there was the results of all of the bombing that took place. There were multiple bomb sites, and you know, everybody that you knew carried scars in some way from that World War. Everybody had paid a price. Many had lost loved ones, but there were many that you know, were just injured and living with the impact of the war. And I think we had a profound respect for the veterans and for those who had fought on behalf of freedom. I remember as when I grew up, the stories of that war were not distant stories. They were stories that everybody's family was connected with in some way. I remember as we grew up, the story of Dunkirk was something that we learned, and we learned to respect those who had fought. And you know, that story of Dunkirk was just amazing, because 330,000 or whatever it was, number of soldiers were there on the beaches of Dunkirk, surrounded by Nazis who had sort of pinned them in somehow or another. And they created this amazing armada of ships. You know, there were fishing boats, and anybody with pleasure boats. Over 800 little boats sailed across the English Channel there to Dunkirk, and they rescued all of these men. And what an incredible stories. And then, you know, I remember hearing my dad talk about how things were really tough. And then, you know, after Pearl Harbor, America joined in that struggle, and he told of the amazing impact of American manufacturing might, as all of a sudden now thousands and tens of thousands of tanks and planes came and joined, and American troops came. I mean, it was an amazing thing. I think the appreciation of America had never been greater, and still Americans are revered in Britain because of, you know, by that generation for what they did. And my dad told me he stood there one day as wave after wave of plane flew overhead as they were coming to provide assistance. And you know, so on a day when we tip our hats to veterans, for those who have served or who have now gone on, I think we have to just recognize that evil is real. And I don't think anybody can look at the fight that was fought back in World War II and, you know, not have a profound appreciation for all those that fought in it. And I know that there have been many wars since then, maybe none on that scale, but yeah, so I just want to say that today on Veterans Day, we do want to take time to thank you and to pay our respects to those who have served. I know the phrase is being repeated many times, that freedom is not free. And if it weren't for those who were prepared to stand up and to fight, I don't know what our world would look like. I mean, you can go back clear to like a fight between David and Goliath. We just heard a message on that recently. But, that little David stood up in the face of the enemy, and he stood strong. And so today we do honor our veterans. We do tell them that we respect them. We thank them for their service. And today I just want to read a poem. I'm sure many of you know it. I had not read it before today, but I want to just read it to you. It says, I watched the flag pass by one day. It fluttered in the breeze. A young Marine saluted it, and then he stood at ease. I looked at him in uniform, so young, so tall, so proud. With hair cut square and eyes alert, he'd stand out in any crowd. I thought, how many men like him have fallen through the years? How many died on foreign soil? How many mothers' tears? How many pilots' planes shot down? How many died at sea? How many foxholes were soldiers' grave? No, freedom is not free. I heard the sound of taps one night when everything was still. I listened to the bugler play and felt a sudden chill. I wondered how many times that taps had meant amen when a flag had draped a coffin of a brother or a friend. I thought of all of the children, of the mothers and the wives, of fathers, sons and husbands with interrupted lives. I thought about a graveyard at the bottom of the sea, of unmarked graves in Arlington. No, freedom is not free. And that poem was written by a young boy. He was a young boy at the time. He was a senior in Homestead High School there in Florida. And today, he's grown up. He's retired from the U.S. Coast Guard after 24 years of service, and he's actually a captain at a U.S. airline. But that poem reminded me that you who have served in the military deserve our thanks. You deserve our appreciation. You deserve our honor. I've seen people do something that I'm going to start to do, and that is, I've seen people, when they see somebody in uniform, have gone up to them and said, look, thank you for serving. So today I'm making a new commitment on this Memorial Day, that when I have opportunity, I'm going to say thank you too. So today, it's a little different than I normally talk about, but I couldn't pass this day by, and when I read that poem, I knew I had to read it to you today. So my thanks, my honor, my appreciation goes out to everybody, and today we take this opportunity to pray for those who are still serving in the armed forces, that God will protect them and that He'll bring them home, and that they'll not be buried, as that poem talked about, on some distant shore or in some unmarked grave or in the ocean. But Lord, bring them home, and thank you to all of you. So today we again close by saying, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace. That's my prayer for today. Tomorrow I'll come back and I'll resume with the teaching that I had intended. But today I just felt we needed to take this time out. So my love to you all. I pray that you're doing well, and I'll be back tomorrow. God bless you. Bye-bye.